Nigeria is called the giant of Africa, a country of over 200 million people, home to billion-dollar industries, a cultural force that dominates music, film, and influence across an entire continent. And here is the uncomfortable truth. Nigeria wasn't always a giant. In fact, the country itself was never meant to exist as a one unified nation. It was created, drawn together by a colonial decision that forced hundreds of different ethnic groups, languages, and identities into a single system. And somehow, from that fragile beginning, Nigeria rose. Through war, through military coups, through economic booms and devastating collapse, it became powerful, influential, impossible to ignore. But today, the question is no longer how Nigeria became a giant. The real question is, what kind of giant did it become? Because behind the influence, behind the population, behind the global success, is a country still struggling to hold itself together. Nigeria didn't emerge naturally, it was constructed. In 1914, the British colonial administration, led by Frederick Lugard, merged two very different regions, the Northern Protectorate and the Southern Protectorate. This was known as the Amalgamation of Nigeria. On paper, it made administrative sense. In reality, it fused together hundreds of ethnic groups, each with different systems, beliefs, and political structures. They were the Hausa Fulani in the north, the Yoruba in the west, and the Igbo in the east, and more than 250 other ethnic identities. What Britain created wasn't unity. It was a framework, a fragile one, but within that framework, something unexpected began to grow. From the beginning, Nigeria had one advantage no other African country could match: population. Today, Nigeria is the most populous country in Africa. That scale matters. It means a massive workforce, a huge internal market, and a powerful voice in regional politics. Even in the early years, this demographic weight gave Nigeria influence. But population alone doesn't make a giant. It has to be activated, and that came with independence. In 1960, Nigeria gained independence from Britain. Its first president, Nnamdi Azikiwe, symbolized a new beginning. There was optimism, hope that Nigeria could become a model for Africa. But beneath the surface, tensions were already building. Regional divisions, ethnic competition, political rivalry. The same fault lines created in 1914 were still there, and they were about to erupt. In 1967, Nigeria faced its greatest internal crisis. The eastern region attempted to break away, forming the Republic of Biafra. This triggered the Nigerian Civil War. The war lasted 3 years. Millions were affected, famine spread across Biafra, and the world watched. But by 1970, the war ended. Nigeria remained one country. This moment defined Nigeria's future because survival gave it something powerful: legitimacy. It proved that despite its division, Nigeria could hold together. And after the war came transformation. In 1970s, Nigeria experienced an economic shift that changed everything. Oil. Massive reserves in the Niger Delta turned Nigeria into one of the world's major oil producers. It joined OPEC, revenue surged, infrastructure expanded. Nigeria suddenly had money, influence, and global relevance. But oil came with a cost. It created dependency. Instead of diversifying, the economy leaned heavily on one resource. And when oil prices fluctuated, so did Nigeria's stability. As wealth increased, so did political instability. Nigeria entered a long period of military rule. Coups became frequent, leaders rose and fell rapidly. Figures like Yakubu Gowon and later Sani Abacha controlled the state during different periods. But governance struggled. Corruption grew, institutions weakened. Nigeria had the resources of a giant, but not always the structure to manage them. While politics remained unstable, something else was rising: culture. Nigeria became Africa's cultural engine. Nollywood grew into one of the largest film industries in the world by volume. Afrobeats exploded globally. Artists from Nigeria began topping charts across continents. Fashion, language, and entertainment spread across Africa and beyond. This was a different kind of power, soft power, and in many ways, it became Nigeria's most successful export. At the center of this cultural and economic growth is Lagos, one of the fastest growing cities in the world. A hub for finance, technology, entertainment, Lagos represents both Nigeria's strength and its contradiction, opportunity and inequality, growth and pressure. It shows what Nigeria can become and what it still struggles to manage. Nigeria didn't just grow internally, it became a regional force. Through ECOWAS, Nigeria played a key role in stabilizing West Africa. It deployed troops to conflicts in Liberia, Sierra Leone. It influenced politics across the region. Nigeria wasn't just a country anymore, it was a power center. But here is where the story becomes complicated. Because despite all this power, Nigeria still faces serious challenges. High levels of poverty, infrastructure gaps, corruption, security issues. This is the paradox. A giant with weaknesses. A powerful nation still struggling internally. Today, Nigeria is changing again. A new generation is emerging, young, connected and innovative. Nigeria's tech ecosystem is growing rapidly. Startups are gaining global attention. The diaspora continues to expand Nigerian influence worldwide. This could be the next phase of the giant. Nigeria didn't become the giant of Africa by accident. It was shaped by history, strengthened by survival, powered by population, resources and culture. But being a giant isn't just about size. It's about stability, direction, and the ability to carry your own weight. So the question remains, is Nigeria still rising, or is it still trying to become what it was always meant to be?